everyone. I am outside the Friary here in Los Angeles, California, the City of Angels. I'm here to learn about an upcoming Eucharistic movie. This film will include explanations on Eucharistic miracles. There will also be dramatizations from sacred scripture about the Eucharist. So today we're going to interview the actors. It's going to be amazing.
Say to you, this day you shall be with me in paradise.
Hey everyone, I'm here now, ready to speak with these three devout men who are actors for the Eucharistic Miracles movie, which is called New Manna. And they're going to tell us everything about it. And here I have Bob, who is playing Jesus. Rob, I'm sorry. Rob, you know. Rob, yeah. Rob and Bob, it rhymes, you know. And I have Timothy here, who is playing St. Peter. Thomas here. See, I get them all wrong. Thomas. I'm doing it on purpose. Now there's Andy here. Andy, who is playing St. Jude. Okay. So here we are here. I mean, these are really excellent men of faith, you know, who love the Lord, and they're very devout Catholics. And so it's an honor to be in their presence too, because they're so committed to this film. They've spent many hours of their own time volunteering so that this can be a glorious production for the Lord. And so I'm going to start here with Jesus here, Rob, who's been with the productions from the very beginning. And he's going to tell us about everything to do with it, how this was initiated, how it started, and where it's going.
Going on about 2 years now, I'd say. Our producer, Ray, he runs a YouTube channel called The Joy of Faith. And it's beautiful. And so one day he had on his YouTube channel, he did Eucharistic miracles, and they were based on the findings and discoveries of Blessed Carlos Acutis. And it was beautiful. It got, I think it might have been one of his most popular videos he's done to date. And so he puts out this video, and then soon after that, our director, Angelo, he sees it, and he stumbles upon it. And Angelo was at this point in his career, he had been working as a storyboard artist for like 20 years, and at the highest level, Disney, Marvel, you name it. He had done some directing before, but he was ready to sort of step in and sort of do a movie that was going to glorify God. You know, he had been in the secular world for a long time, and it was important to him. So he was
a really impressive resume.
Yeah.
You know,
oh yeah.
Marvel, with Disney, and all sorts.
Yeah. He's highly talented, and so he was searching for something, and so he came across this video, and he had seen, you know, Ray, and he talking about the miracles, and he reached out to him. They didn't know each other, and he reached out to Ray, and he's like, "Hey, I'm Angelo, blah 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 blah. You know, I'm looking to do a movie, and I think he probably sounded just like that. Blah, 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 blah. He's from Italy, okay? He has the accent. You see a lot of this on set." Beautiful guy, and he reached out to Ray, and from there he pitched sort of this idea of how they could make this movie, right. You know, while investigating these miracles, sending Ray on this journey, you know, to show the science behind it, and talking to different doctors and theologians and priests, but at the same time making it not just a documentary. We don't even like using that word on set. It's really a cinematic adventure. It's a journey that we want to bring people on. And so throughout the journey that Ray will go on, Angelo pitched the idea of, as he's sort of on this journey investigating the Eucharist, which is Christ, will sort of interweave Christ in live action with his apostles and their journey with him, which sort of, you know, parallels what Ray's going through. So that was sort of the genesis of it. And then from there, somehow, I got involved. I'd known Angelo for a few years. We were close but we would see each other here and there at events. And I ended up switching over parishes to St. Vitus, where he went. And soon after that, he was talking to me about this movie. He's like, I got this movie. At the time, I was like, I'd love to be involved. And he was like, I didn't have a beard at the time. I was sort of lifting a lot. And he's like, you be a Roman soldier, be perfect. And I was like, sure, I'll do anything. We were talking. I was like, I'll carry boxes and sweep the floor. I just want to be I want to be a part of this. He just knew. He knew from the start there's something going on here. And as an actor and my faith sort of merging together, this was a great opportunity. And then from there, as time went on, Angelo, we were trying to cast, and he knew that he wanted it to make it as much of a Catholic film as he could, but with good actors, obviously. So if some of the actors weren't Catholic or weren't practicing, or maybe other denominations, or trying to understand the faith, as long as they were okay and comfortable with the content, we were saying, sure. But Christ had to be Catholic and devout and practicing and know the faith. That was important to Angelo. So as we kept going on and trying to figure out the actor for this, and at this point I'm becoming a little bit more involved behind the scenes and helping him. And we had an actor in mind who's pretty well known actor, and we had been going back and forth with him. And then one day, after Mass, I was sipping a cup of coffee, and he FaceTimes me, and I'm just sort of sitting outside, and he starts talking to me, and he's like, I need an actor who can do this and that. And he's like, and he sort of starts hinting at little things that I had done and says, and I'm like, in my head, is he asking me to play Jesus? And it was nowhere on my radar, nowhere, no beard, I don't fit the mold by any means. It was not on my radar to play him. I'm like, and so I just said, I was like, brother, I can do it. I think I can do it. At the time, I was like, I didn't know if I could do it, but I was like, if you're asking me, I can try. I can try to lean down. I can start growing my beard out, and then from there, he goes, okay. He goes, yeah, He goes, start to sort of keep growing the beard out and lean down a little bit, start to kind of drop a little bit of weight, and we'll see. And then it was a few weeks and weeks and weeks, and it was the day before Easter, not this past one, but the one before. And he sort of gave me the call. He's like, it's you. And I was like, oh, wow, okay, I better. Yeah. And so I was like, I better get going. And so from there, and here we are. So
when he first started talking with Angelo, I think they were going to shoot like a promotional film, something to generate some income and some buzz about the project. And that was the whole gig with the Roman soldier bit. And Angelo just asked him if he knew someone who might work like that. And we had been training together and lifting, and I coached at a gym. That's how we had met. So he let me know, and I was all on board. Same thing. Like, I just want to work, be part of it. And that sort of went on and off and delayed a little bit. And then similar process. Rob was talking to me like he's looking for Jesus. He's not sure, like maybe, I don't know. He's kind of saying some stuff, but I don't want to assume. And then he got on board with that finally once it was sort of official. And then he was like, would you want to play a role? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, I think you might work for Peter. He's like, he kind of likes you for John the Baptist. And I don't really know. And I'm like, whatever. I'm happy with any piece I can have of this. And then eventually I sent Angelo a couple headshots. And at the time, my hair was short. It was probably, like 2 inches long. And I didn't have a beard. I had probably about your level of scruff, and that was it. And I was probably about 10, 15 pounds lighter. Yeah. And then, we went opposite. So you lost 25 pounds and I went up, and then,
He was a robust fisherman.
Well, that's what he wanted was, and you'll see the wardrobe.
Yeah.
But then eventually, Rob really fought for me for that one, and got me that. And, and it was really awesome. It was a great phone call to get from him to let me know that I had gotten that role finally. And it's been sort of life-changing.
Thank you, Father, and thank you for doing this interview. Thank you, everybody at EWTN and all our viewers and stuff. And really, it was from Rob, honestly. I had made a leap of faith to try a new church. I'd moved recently neighborhoods, and I had some interest in going to the Latin Mass. And I was raised in the Novus Ordo. I'm a cradle Catholic, and went through a breakup about 5 years ago and had a reawakening. I always believed, and but I was not practicing like I am now. And on that journey, God was just kind of like giving me some hints. Why don't you go check this out? But I was nervous, because I didn't know too much about it and didn't know much Latin. And so I started going. Sometimes they had confession like 6 days a week. And that's the first time I saw Rob, but we didn't speak because, we're in line to do penance.
Yeah.
And so there's that respect, of course, and examination of conscience. And then there was an interview with one of the founders of the FSSP, Father Bissek. And so I went there on a Thursday night randomly. I just took a chance to go just to learn more about it. And there was Rob and Angelo. And I didn't know what they did. I just knew that they were there at Mass and to hear Father Bissek. And so we started chatting. And then we joke about who our casting director is on this movie. But our friend Rita, who's like daughter of Mary, one of the devout people at that church, was like, you guys got to talk. And then I think she gave you my number, right, or something. And then Rob called me. He's like, and honestly, I was up for 2 other jobs that I had lost. That I didn't get, or and God's our employer, so it's like it may hurt, but you're just like, all right, I'm not supposed to be on that. And Rob's like, listen, we're doing this movie, and he told me a little bit about it, and he's like, there's a role, somebody dropped out. One possible, that was it, right? You had somebody though, I think.
See, I remember before that when he had mentioned, he's like, dude, there's this guy at confession I've seen a few times. He's got a great look. Yeah. I haven't talked to him yet. He's like, well, we've made eye contact. So kind of done like the nod, like,
well, of course.
Hey, I acknowledge you.
It's like that respect.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he had a familiar face to me, which we can go into.
Yeah, I mean, just the cliff notes of that is I've been acting for 25 years. I've done a lot of great parts. There's always moments of the desert though in this industry. It's a gigging community. And so you finish one job, you're like, you don't know where the next one's coming from. It could be quite some time. So just surrendering to that one day at a time, and just the life of an actor really is a long distance run. And so it's like just be in process all the time, whether it's class or picking up material. And I was itching to do a role, and I wanted to do something that was closer to my faith. And I played a lot of different things. And I like to be versatile, but this was the first chance really that I got to do something that, not that I'm an apostle by any chance, but like that is, as a Catholic. And so that's how it started. And then there was a little bit of, I think Angelo wasn't sure. Then he was like, that's part of it. But like, then finally Angelo said yes. I think Rob was fighting for me, thankfully. That's how it began,
Andy's being super humble, but he's worked with the best of the best, Pacino and Joaquin Phoenix and a lot of guys. Vin Diesel. And so it's fun. What's funny is the role of St. Jude had no lines. Okay, not one line. And in the script at the time, we just, it was sort of we wanted someone, we wanted someone to have a look, obviously.
I think he only shows up twice in the New Testament, anyways, which makes sense why he probably wouldn't have.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and we were highlighting, obviously, Peter is probably the, one of the leads in it, and we're highlighting him a lot in our film. But what was interesting, it was I call him up and I'm like, hey, you got this role. We love you to play St. Jude. We right now there's no lines, this and that. And I didn't think much of it. I know he had been an actor. He looked familiar, but I didn't think much of it. And so then the next day, so that night actually, he's like, sure, I'd love to. He was on board like from the start. That next day or that night, I go home. And I go, Andy Davoli. I go, there's something. And I look him up on IMDb, and here's this resume, I'm like, knock around, guys. I love that movie. I was like, and here I am offering him a role with no lines, no nothing. He's the most experienced actor out of everybody. And it's a testament to his humility and his love for something that he took a chance on. And we couldn't offer him any pay either. None of these guys. No one's even taken a single dollar here. It's been to glorify him. So that's important. That's important to say. But just so people know, he gets on set and he's so charismatic and he's good that we had to write him in some lines. So you definitely will see St. Jude with some lines, and you'll see him in the movie because his talent spoke for itself.
The prayer and hope for this movie is that people become more educated in the Eucharist and also develop a greater love for Jesus in the Eucharist, and to ultimately grow and to become holier people in the image and likeness of Christ. Now, tell me all, how has this been done for you in your own personal spiritual life, your own love for the Eucharist, your own knowledge of the Eucharist? What has this done for your walk with God?
Everything's changed. It changes every day. It deepens every day. It's never perfect. But we were joking outside in the parking lot. You know, we get in line for movies. We get in line for, you know, a great restaurant, all these different things. And it's like, this movie has taught me, I mean, is this really Jesus in the presence of the Eucharist? Do we really believe that? Well, that's what it teaches. And so if that's the truth, that God is present in the Eucharist at adoration when we receive, you know, there'd be a line around the block for days just to, I mean, it's just like, I know God is everywhere at all times, all powerful, omniscient, outside of time. But the way it's been revealed, that he revealed it to us through the new manna, the manna of life, the bread of life, that we can get it, you know, 7 days a week if we want, except I think on Good Friday, right? Or, so my Sunday obligation, I mean, that's become part of my life in the last 5 years, and things have changed, of course. I always teach my kids, when you put God first. I'll give a quick anecdote and I'll pass it along. So I'm part of St. Ambrose, where we're doing this interview, because I used to live 2 blocks from here. Both my sons were baptized here, and my little son was upset one day because he had never seen a lizard. He randomly says to me, he's never seen a lizard yet. I'm like, all right, just, you know, we're going to see one. We're in California. And he was complaining about going to Mass one day. I'm like, hey, listen, when you put God first, good things happen, you know? So we go to church, and all of a sudden there's a family that lives here at this church with 2 little boys, and they come run downstairs with a bucket of lizards. And my son's face was like, I was like, hey, you know, there you go. You know what I mean? Like, you know, not that it's about the cash and prizes, but it's something that, like, you know, God shows us go in the right direction. And, you know, that's part of my journey with it.
You know, I was born and raised Catholic, went to Catholic school all my life through high school, and then sort of through college, and then I served in the military for a little while. Sort of fell away, never didn't believe or anything, just wasn't practicing. And then moved to California after I separated from the military, and was just trying to work as an actor. That was my whole purpose, wasn't trying to do anything else really. And so even when Rob asked me, it wasn't about it being a Catholic film or anything. For me, it was just something to work, and a role, and something to help bring me closer to my goal. But I had, so whenever my wife and I were in Tennessee and I was separating, we were talking about where to move next. And I just had this innate, deep feeling that I needed to go to California, that I needed to try to be an actor. I had to make this choice to move. And then logistically, we, you know, reason with it, like, oh, we didn't have any kids, we didn't have any debt, like, we can just move. It's an easy move. There's not a lot of baggage. So if we're going to do this, this is the time. And then soon thereafter, I met Rob, and we had a great friendship almost immediately that has blossomed. But that was kind of it. And then when he started talking about this project, I had that same deep gut feeling, just like, I can't explain it. I don't have a logical reason. I can't, but this to me feels like the right thing. And I don't know why, but it just does. And I'm just going to trust in that. That's what I've done so far. That's what I've done most of my life. I try to just trust my gut. And my gut has brought me here. You know, and that's, you know, I think sort of divine in a lot of ways. And then just being around these beautiful, and I remember, I don't have the career Andy does or anything like that, but, you know, I remember I've worked on a number of films. You know, I've been here 6 years, done a lot of work on projects, just small stuff or background or whatever. But every set was always very similar. Huge blockbuster film, small budget film, you know, TV series, whatever. It's very like cut, dry work. Everyone's here for a purpose, to get paid, check in, check out. And then I remember the first day on set, there was just mass of beautiful people showed up in the middle of nowhere on a frozen mountain, covered in fog, and everyone was just so happy and willing to work, all for the love of God. No pay. I mean, like, the extras showed up that first day and sat on a hill for 12 hours. Cold. I mean, freezing. And no shoes, like barely any clothes. They're in period pieces. There's hardly food or water. If there is, you got to walk to go get it. You know, I mean, it was just a hard day. It was a hard environment with a hard day. It was the first day on set. And that was so bewildering to me to see this love that people had and how hard they would work and not an ounce of complaint, you know, and you don't see that. And I was like, from that moment, I was like, oh, this is the right place. And that helped me, you know, kind of work into the project. And like also besides that, it's just trying to find out who Peter is and, you know, find that role and rereading some of the Bible and stuff to try and bring this guy to life in my own version really helped bring me there. And yeah, Rob mentioned earlier, like my own reconversion. I think we were building the set for the Last Supper in this beautiful, like 130-year-old barn. And I spoke with Father Cadet there. He was there giving Mass every day. Every day we had Mass. And I just like, can I talk to you for a minute? And we went out to this orange and lemon grove, had a confession there, you know, and it was just a really wonderful moment to help bring this all sort of forward and sort of full circle, you know. And it's been a long time. It's been a long project. We've worked on this. I mean, I mentioned earlier, my hair was short and it's now down to the middle of my back, you know. So it's been a long process. Yeah, it's been a long process, but it's been a good one.
Yeah, this to watch his reversion and finding it himself and not, you know, pushing it on him and was a beautiful. It's just been one of the most beautiful things I've seen. I think that was your first confession, like 10 years, right?
Yeah.
On set, and then watching him being able to receive the Holy Eucharist after that, and it's that. You see, you asked what it's about. Here it is. It happened on set to us. This is why we're doing the film. You know, it's what's on your chest. If the Eucharist wasn't true, then I don't want any of it. I don't want any of it. I'd have left the church a long time ago. I would have probably went to some fun church with a lot of lights and, you know, and a preacher with slick back hair, and he's, you know, who knows? I don't know. But it's the Eucharist. It's the key. It's the, if we can receive Christ's body, soul, and divinity every day, he allows us to receive him. It's such a tremendous, and you can't fully understand it. Our reason gives enough, you know, and he gives us enough, but the King of the universe came down, humbled himself to become human. Then we killed him. We beat him in the most grotesque and horrible way that men can do. He died for us and rose, beat death, opened heaven for us. And then after that, what does he do? He humbles himself again. He makes himself into what? A plain, unassuming piece of bread. And he's in every tabernacle in every Catholic church in the world, and we go by it every day, and we don't care, or we don't know. And so that kind of love, when you understand it, or you can just get a piece of it, it keeps you in. You hold ground in the church. And that's the story we have to tell. We have to tell that story. It's a love story. It's miracles, and it's beautiful, and they're unbelievable, and I can't wait for people to see these miracles and these people to talk about them. But it's a love story, and it's the greatest love story of all time, and like Bolton says, and it's contained in that tiny little white host. And so we have sought to climb the mountain and wrestle with God and put it out there for the world to see. And I think everyone who's been a part of this, as you do, like Jacob who wrestled with God, you're affected. We now walk with a limp.
You know, the movie has done this for you, for your own love for the Lord, your own faith, and enriched it so much, and has transformed you and to be so Christ-like, you know. And I imagine that what it's going to do for those who watch the film.
Yeah.
You know, speaking about the film and watching it, where is it right now? And I know it's in the production phase, and where are you at with it?
So we are just about to wrap on principal photography. So we're about to finish live action. it's looking like, which is, how God works, we'll wrap almost exactly a year from starting principal photography. October 23rd last year was when we first started. So it's been a year of filming, which if you know movies, that doesn't happen. 6 months is a long shoot. Now we've had moments where we've had to, delay it, for certain reasons. And, God has allowed, some heavy crosses on this, which is a good thing because we think that, usually that means something good's going to come from it when he allows those sort of things. But yeah, so with that said, we'll wrap up here in the next few weeks. We have a few scenes left. And then from there, we'll go into post-production and editing, which, we're going to have to look to raise some more money for. And it's even more expensive than the live action filming. So raising money for that and throwing the gala and things of that nature. And then once it's edited, God willing, we can get it out in a few months.
Speaking about fundraising, how can people be informed? How can they support this project going forward? Because you're still in need of finances to complete, of course, the production process, which is just maybe a month or so away, but also the post-production as well, and then the distribution and everything goes with that. So how can people get involved by contributing financially? Of course, prayerfully, but financially.
Yeah, of course. No, absolutely. The prayers obviously come first, and that's been apparent on this film without a doubt. The support and prayers, and if that's all you can give, then we'll take them. But as far as financially, if you go to Eucharistic Miracles, plural, movie.com.
Right here.
Yeah. I'm going to put it out. Well done. Yeah. Yeah. Eucharisticmiraclesmovie.com. There's a donation page. You'll see it. There's a tab right there you can click. There's even an option that you can check to see if your company, we have this, your company will match your donation. So you can check to see if one of your companies or one of the partners with this, that'll match any donation you give. It's nonprofit. So, all that's good. And then we're going to be releasing an app soon called Corpus. And on that app, we'll eventually release the movie on that, as far as in other platforms as well. But this is really where we want to release it, and we'll have sort of a pay it forward feature that a lot of people can do, as well as paying for the next person to sort of be able to download the app. And there'll be tons of features on there, behind the scenes stuff, interviews, the long form discussions with some of the theologians and priests, as well as maybe some deleted scenes and things of that nature. So that's coming soon. But in the meantime, if you just go to the website and you can donate there. And then we have a gala, I don't know. Tomato. Gala coming up November 12th. And we'll be releasing information for that, and that's we'll have tickets going on sale for that, and we'll be announcing sort of the speakers and that we'll have and different things that we'll be auctioning off. And so if you want to buy a ticket and come to that, you can support that way as well. Yeah.
And there are also social. The film has pages on social platforms.
Instagram, Eucharistic Miracles movie. At Eucharistic Miracles movie. Is the Facebook and Instagram. So if you want to follow me, get our Thomas Plunkett, Andy DeVoli. So that's the main page right now, and we post a lot there too, and a lot of content, a lot of behind the scenes. We're very open with the production. We want people to feel involved, and so social media wise, that's where we're at. Mm-hmm.
Fellas, it's been great spending time with you. You all have inspired me, and I'm sure out there you've encouraged us much. We're going to be. We're all going to be looking forward to this film. But everyone out there, Jesus Christ, He is the Eucharist is the source and summit of our faith. It is there where we have a true encounter with Him. It is there where we receive the body, blood, soul, and divinity of Jesus, where we are consumed with His love as we eat of His body and blood. And as we adore Him, there He is present to us, shining on us with His rays of love and surrounding us with His mercy and with His peace. So, brothers and sisters, it's important that people be educated on the Eucharist, that people come to learn what Jesus did for us and what he gives us in his own body and blood. And this is why it's necessary that this movie come to fruition. So please, please support it, of course, with your prayers, but also financially. Go to the website, go follow them on their social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook. Do everything you can to support this film because it's very needed in these days, in these dark hours. We thank you all for watching. I thank you all for coming and speaking to us and informing us about this phenomenal film that is going to be released hopefully soon. And again, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Tell all your friends about this. And may Almighty God bless you all, the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Amen.